What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We got an awesome case unboxing for you coming to you today from ESR, one of the top iPhone case makers and one of the most prominent ones on Amazon. So you've probably seen these guys around. They make some absolutely fantastic cases. So this one is for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've got one for the iPhone 17 Air. Thank you guys so much for sending these over. And then also they sent over a couple of screen protectors. I'll have a demo video on how to put these on in a separate video, but just so you know, they do make some really awesome screen protectors, and you can get them in different types, so protective, matte, clear, really any other way that you want a screen protector, and they're super durable. So stay tuned for another video on these, but we're gonna get into the iPhone 17 Pro Max case today. Can't wait to open this up. I was a really big fan of the ones on my 16 Pro. I used that one for about a month or 2 months even while I was testing out all my cases. Just really loved it and all the features that it has. So let's go ahead and get right into this case. So looking at the packaging, super clean and nice packaging as they always have. A couple of images of their different cases for the Air, 17, and Pro Max on the front. And then on the back, a little bit about the case itself, showing the stand and how you can use it. Works with MagSafe with the stand as well, and then just a little bit more, and then on the sides. So really nice packaging, always appreciate everything that they do on that. Going ahead and opening this bad boy up, there is just a little bit of tape at the top there, so just give that a slice. Here we go. Pop off the top and pull out the case. What else is in here? A little bit about the case itself and just some spec sheets, so we can toss that all to the side, and then it does come wrapped in this nice little plastic there. Toss that to the side, and here it is. This is their frosted orange to match my iPhone 17 Pro Max. You get a really nice silver there for that stand on the camera plateau, as Apple calls it now. You can see that it does have MagSafe, and then you're going to be able to see the orange of the iPhone through that frosted back there. So really nice. Just taking a look around, looking at the pulling on the sides. It's not as stiff as you would think. It's a little bit weaker, but it's probably going to fit the case just fine. And then on the inside, you can see that ESR MagSafe. They're really good with the strength of that, but we're going to go ahead and test that out later as well. And then you can see on the insides there, you do have drop protection. So you get standard military grade drop protection on this device on all four corners. And on this side, you can see the camera button, little lanyard holes. And then on the corners, you can see a little bit more of that drop protection. And then you don't have fully integrated buttons. These ones are just a part of the case. So you do get the little bit of opening there for dust and finger stuff and, just oils to get underneath there. So you might need to clean your case a little bit with that. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Obviously, I like the integrated buttons a little bit more if possible, but that's all right as long as they work well. And then a really nice camera button there. You can see that silver outlining just like on the stand, and then the orange button to go along with the case. So very nice matching there. And then on this side, you can see the 3 other buttons for your up and down volume rocker, and then your action button, again, not fully integrated, just connected to the case, but that's gonna be fine. We'll test those buttons out. On the bottom here, you can see full cutouts for the speaker, so big thumbs up there, and a really generous USB-C port. So really anything that you're gonna be able to plug in there, depending on the size of the head of the USB-C, is gonna fit in there nice and easy. So thumbs up and big kudos to that. On my channel, if you watch any of my videos, you know I'm a big fan of the open ports, not a big fan of the pinholes, so great there. And then another thing to note, you do get full protection over your camera plateau, which is going to help with scrapes, dings, dents, anything like that. There's scratch gate going on with the iPhone, so a lot of things scratching this paint. So really good to see the protection. Let me know in the comments though if you're a fan of this type of case where you have the protection over it, or if you'd rather just have it wide open and just get the full color of your iPhone camera plateau there. So drop a comment down below there. This is my first case that I'm testing that has this, so gonna have to test it out for myself and see how I like it, see how the color goes through. But that is also frosted orange as well. And then easy enough to get the stand right out there, just kind of pulls out from the left side, and you can get multiple different viewing angles. And I'll show you all about that once we get the phone into the case. They call it a camera guard there too. And then just a little bit of note too, just on the corners, you get a little bit of rise there. So not really sure if that's just meant to help with rocking or what, or protection, but kind of a nice little subtle thing that just breaks up the case a little bit. Alrighty, so let's get the phone into the case and see how this thing looks. Plop it in bottom first, snaps right in there, super easy to get on. There it is in the front, and there it is in the back. You know, this orange really is kind of crazy. I didn't really know if I was gonna like the orange when I got this phone, and then when I saw this case, and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna match orange for it, and just kind of just go wild and go dive straight into it. But you can see, like, just on the, you know, that opaque camera plateau cover, the orange really does come through extremely well. And I do like the silver accent around there. Then you can see the MagSafe. You can't really see the Apple logo through there. I'll try to, you know, zoom in. You can't really see that at all, but still, really nice case. And then obviously on the front, you do get protection on that screen with raised edges. Pulling them, they are on the, I would say, the little bit on the weaker side of pulling, especially, you know, near the buttons. Camera control is actually pretty stiff. The bottom is okay, and the top there, not bad, but sides a little bit weaker on the pulling. I don't really think that's going to be a big deal at all, but just if that's something that you look for, just know that that is a little bit on the weaker side. Feeling the buttons. Very clicky, very nice for all of those, very easy to manage. Absolutely no problems there in terms of buttons that are connected to the case. And then again, looking at your ports, full cutouts for the speakers, very nice there, and very generous USB-C. Now let's get into some MagSafe. This is my handy dandy MagSafe test ring that I use for all my cases to judge how well it is. So everything is kind of standard across the board. And let's go ahead and throw that on there, pick it up and give it a bounce. Not too bad. That's actually probably on the stronger side. Obviously, you know, it's going to come off at some point, but that is definitely on the stronger side. Just, you know, pulling it and then snapping on, you know, actually, you know, probably 9.5, 9.8 out of 10 on that. So that's actually really good, and I'm really impressed by that. So if you're looking for something with really good MagSafe, you put a wallet on the back of your phone, this thing is definitely going to hold on to that. And then getting into the stand here, you can pop that out. There are little rivets here for it to click into, so it's not going to come out when you're not using it. But this does offer multiple angles, so you can bring it basically flat, just like that, to have your phone sit and be able to watch media that way. If you are weird or whatever, for whatever reason, and want your phone to sit like this, you definitely can. Upside down kind of works. It's a little too high up for me, but really any angle that way, bringing it that way, is going to work just great. So, I mean, most stands are for landscape viewing anyways, for watching videos. Here's the click. There you go. Yeah, so most stands are for landscape viewing anyways. Not really sure people really put their phone up vertical like this just to have it. But if you do, the stand is still going to work great regardless of that. I would say one thing to note, which is a little weird, is the cutouts here for the LiDAR sensor and the flash don't exactly seem to be perfect, especially near the LiDAR sensor. So just something to note, I don't think it's going to affect the phone or the case at all, especially the phone, but just kind of something to note. And I'll zoom in on that. You can kind of see that it's off center. Not a super big deal. Don't think it's going to matter, but just something to note. And then taking a look at the camera control button, let's go ahead and click into that. Very easy, and it is flat on the case, so that's really nice to see there. Very easy to manage, swipe through. As I usually mention, most people just use the camera button to open their camera or not at all, but it is very responsive, and the look of this is great, matching the orange to the case and then the silver accent to match the stand there. Let's check the rocking back and forth. There is a little bit of rocking, obviously pushing that way. It's more coming from this corner than anything. So tiny bit of rocking, not bad at all though. With the camera plateau, it is nice that that does limit more of the rocking there. And then obviously you do have full camera protection, and this thing does stick out quite far compared to other ones, just because it needs to house the stand itself, but zoom in to kind of show you just how much space that is taking up. So, and then obviously you can see a full view of just how big that is. It's about half a finger's width. So pretty large camera plateau protection there. Don't really think that's mattering to anyone, but is to note. All right, so my final verdict of the ESR frosted glass orange case. does come in other colors. I'm going to give this thing a 9.2, a little bit off just for how loose these sides are, the rocking. I do really like the stand integration, how they used this space instead of bringing it down here to make the phone thicker. The MagSafe is absolutely fantastic, so big kudos there. A little bit of points off just for the non-integrated buttons. You know, I don't like getting dirt and oils into my buttons that could potentially get into the phone and just needing to clean it more often. But the color and the feel is definitely great. It's grippy. It doesn't feel like a normal clear case where, you know, it's pretty slick. This is actually really grippy. And if you do get a color matching one, they did an absolutely fantastic job. So if you get silver or blue on your Pro Max or any other color, and you get this case for the 17 or the Air, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So kudos to ESR there. Big fan of this case. Thank you guys so much for sending these over, and I can't wait to do my Air video on this as well and show you all how the screen protectors work. So I will have a short coming out on those as well. So here is the current rankings of, I think, the 2 cases of videos that I have tested out so far. If you guys want to check those out, I will have links down in the description below, link it to Amazon and ESR. I'm still working on building my site, so you guys can look forward to that for a bunch of Apple news and just rankings on all my cases. So please go ahead and like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.